Hello, my beloved besties. As I've promised you, today I'm going to answer the questions that you've posted in the Q&A box. But before I start, I wanted to say thank you to those who have participated in this session by sending out their questions. Now, let's begin. The first questions come from Jace underscore Ryan underscore plushie. I just want to ask one thing. How do you come up with such good storylines, girl? And hope you're doing fine. I'm actually doing great. Thank you for asking. And for the question, I actually don't know, to be honest. Sometimes it just pops up into my head. Like after reading books or watching dramas, I just had this bunch of ideas. Especially when I'm not satisfied by how the movies or books turn out at the end. I usually write my own version of ending and plot in the stories that I posted. Also, at certain occasion, the stories were inspired by my own experience in life. So you can say it's like a combination of both. The second questions come from Ray. And the question is, what's your height? Well, this is quite personal, but I can tell you that I'm less than 160 centimeters. I'm not going to tell you the exact number, but I can assure you I'm short. And the second thing, what motivates you? And one thing you're really proud of. Okay, so one thing that motivates me the most is, of course, my readers. Every time I see comments when I post a new video, it just straight up boosts up my willingness to write. And don't take it the wrong way, but I like reading each and every comment that you guys post. So don't be afraid to post more comments, because I'll be more than glad to read them. But yeah, your comments and presence are just my main motivation to keep writing. Also, knowing that my stories can bring this emotional train to the viewers and making them understand messages that I'm trying to imply is one of the things that I'm really proud of. Since I always wanted my stories to be heartwarming yet educating for my viewers too, I'm glad that you guys can extract something or find comfort from the stories that I wrote. The third question comes from Denise Grace Climaco. Tell me if I'm wrong. I don't know how to pronounce names. And she asks, what made you write FFs and who is your inspiration behind everything? So I've been writing since I was in third grade. Back then, I was a part of this writing group at school, and I wrote only short fictional stories there. To be honest, I was only there because my friends attended it too. However, I ended up enjoying the world of literacy. But afterwards, I stopped writing. It wasn't until I jumped into Wattpad that I thought, why don't I just spend my spare time writing? That's not a bad idea. And yeah, it carried on until I decided to move on to YouTube. For the person that inspires me to write all these romance stories, I would say it would be my crush. He's not behind each of my stories, but some of them, and mostly for the angsty ones. The next question comes from Cloudy's Moon. I don't know how to pronounce it, but yeah. What potion do you add to your stories to make it suspense and romantic? Once again, there's no potion or anything. It's just that I probably try my best to understand the character's point of view. Sometimes it's hard, especially when I've never experienced the things that they've been through, but trying to put myself into their shoes probably is effective to make the emotions rolling. Yeah. And what is your favorite story among all of them that you had written and why? Probably the Jake FF, Our Color is Blue. I personally enjoy writing that one just because it sticks more to a fairy tale type of story. And back when I was younger, those were the type of stories that I write. So it kind of gives me a sense of nostalgia when writing it. And can we collab? Of course, girl, we can. Now a question from Paloma Rebello. Hi, how are you? I'm great, thank you. So I have just three questions. Which groups in K-pop do you stan? I actually stan a lot of groups. But for boy groups, of course, I stan Hypen, and then I also stan X1, GOT7, and 1-1. Those are my main favorite boy groups. But when it comes to girl group, I don't really have favorites. But nowadays, I'm into IVE. But I actually like other girl groups too. And for the soloists, I like Woods, Cho Seung-yeon. He's such a great songwriter. And the second question was, how do you come up with such beautiful words with which you end the FF? Oh, the last quotes. Yeah. Again, it just pops into my head. The storyline and the quotes. Probably because I read some books and poetries too. It helps with building up the ideas. But there's nothing in particular that I do to create this quotes. It just comes up into my head. And what advice will you give me if I want to write some FF like yours? Um, to begin with, find your own type of stories and purpose of writing. Uniqueness can create an author's public image. And I think it's essential to write through your own lens so that you can bring out the most emotions. Because when a writer takes full control of the story plot, they'll be able to make the readers understand the story better. For instance, I write only when I have a message to tell, because or else it'll bring me nowhere. I also write using my own wordings and try to avoid cliche stories, just so that my readers can experience a different rush of emotions when reading my stories compared to other authors. Once you get the hang of it, just write. Don't ever be afraid to make mistakes. English wasn't my first language, so I had to overcome that language barrier first of all. So everyone has to start at some point. Just don't be afraid to express yourself through your stories and always remember why you write in the first place. It'll keep you going. And a question from Kanishka Loda. She also wanted to start writing FF. I have given suggestion in the previous question, and also which apps are best for making FF. I don't know which app is the best, but I usually use VN Video Editor and CapCut. I think both of them are easy to use, but since CapCut is banned in your country, you can also try KineMaster. A lot of writers use that to make their videos, and I think they might be good. The next question comes from forever underscore a underscore directioner. How did you learn to write perfect fanfictions? Probably through my writing class. But aside from that, nowadays I just write using my own guts. Like when I write, I just build everything that's inside my head. So you can say I was self-taught. Yeah, because my writing class was back when I was in third grade. Now, questions from Fences FF. How long have you been writing? As I've said before, I started writing in third grade, but then I stopped for several years, and I think I went back to writing in 2018. So yeah, it's confusing, but I've been writing for years. Other groups you also stand, as I've said before, I stand and Hypen, X1, Got7, and 1-1. And do you also write some AUs? No, I actually don't, but I read some of them, and they're really great. Will you post if I recommended? I would, but at the moment I'm quite busy with some of my projects, as what I've said. Yeah, but once I get the chance to write it, I would definitely write it. So please stay tuned. And the next question comes from Jihan Aziza. Who is your favorite member in Hypen and since when do you like in Hypen? So my favorite in Hypen members are Juwon and Jay, but nowadays Jake is bias wrecking me. And I've liked them since their debut showcase. I didn't watch Island, so I didn't know them before. I only know Sonu from my friends. But when I saw their debut showcase, I was straight up interested and started standing them with Jungwon as my first bias. Next question comes from A.N. What's your favorite song? I can't choose one. I have like heaps in my brain right now. But for my favorite Western song, it would be Wish You Were Sober by Conan Gray. And for K-pop songs, I have three right now. I have Woods, I Hate You. It's such a great song. And for Enhypen, I like Foreshadow. I still can't believe they just put that song as an outro. It's annoying. I need like the full version of it. And last but not least, This Night by Groovy Room. It's such a great vibe and such a great study song to listen to. And a question from M. What's your favorite color? My favorite color would be black and blue. Yeah, black and blue. And my favorite member of Enhypen, as I've said before, it's Jay and Juan. And how are you? I'm great, thank you. And last but not least, question from Olivia Doan. I don't know if that's how I'm supposed to pronounce your name, but yeah. And where are you in the world? I'm actually living in New Zealand. So if you guys also come from New Zealand or anywhere in the world, just comment down below where you guys came from. And do you have a significant other? I actually don't. Solo for life, guys. Since that was our last question, now it's time to sum up this Q&A session. I really hope my response could help answer your curiosity and motivate those who want to start writing. All the best of luck for those who wanted to start their writing journey, and for everyone, thank you so much for always supporting my channel and looking forward to my stories. You guys will always be the reason why I keep on writing. Well, now it's my time to take my leave. Thank you so much for joining me in this Q&A session, and I hope you guys are doing great. See you in my next video. Bye!